You are live. Let's go. It takes a lot for me to get here, to go live. I gotta think about shit, write shit down, do some Googling and shit. I gotta be reading about shit because I gotta come to the Shoy Show prepared. I gotta come over here. I gotta have topics to talk about, okay? I have to prepare to be el cantante, the singer. I have to prepare for this. Okay. You think I just roll out of bed and I do the Shoy Show? This happens at the end of a long day of work for me. Me doing the Shoy Show, News with Shoy. And that's it. It's like my reward at the end of the night because I want to do this. I want to share. So you think I come over here unprepared? No, I got to give it some thought. Okay. All day, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yo, what am I going to do on News with Shoy? Because I ain't got a production team. I ain't got people writing me scripts and shit. I ain't got people whole fucking team taking care of me. It's a one-man show. And partly it's because I can't find the help. I got to find the help. Maybe it's me. But I worked with a lot of people. And I'm like, yeah, it's not working. You know what I'm saying? I need to be a millionaire by now. Like, yo, how long you been doing that? I'm like, a day. Because that's how I'm wired. Let's go. How long is it gonna take? How much is it? Well, how are we gonna make money? Okay, does that make sense? I'm a hustler. Okay? The Shoy Show should have been famous already. I should have 1 billion followers. Nah, I should have 100 million. Yeah, why? Why not? I'll tell you why I think that. There's not a conceited bone in my body, for those of you that know me. But yeah, I don't know if I will be doing this, but I think I will have to be a good person. Let me tell you something, okay? If you were that rich, that powerful, you made it. You made it in life. If you were that rich, it's not even just about money. If you have that power and influence, like, let me ask you, let's run the experiment. What do you think you would do and say if you were Donald Trump, if you were a president? If you were the president of the United States, how do you think you would react and feel? Could you even define that? Of course you can. Going live on TikTok. Shit is whack. TikTok. Yeah. Flip camera. Like, why is it not on selfie mode and shit? Maybe, you know what? Maybe I don't need it on selfie mode. I got time. It's too much. Okay, it's too much. I gotta do too much production here. Enough. Okay. And why not? Why not can I have it all? Why not? That has nothing to do with being conceited. That has nothing to do with thinking I'm the best. It has everything to do with how I believe in my abilities. Hell yeah. I'll say that straight up. I know I'm a hustler. I know that I have this drive and, like, I don't even define it as ambition, but I know like it hurts. Every day hurts when you gotta push yourself to go to the gym every day. Every day. You gotta you gotta push yourself to be active. You gotta push yourself to educate yourself. I know that's hard, but I just do that shit. And I do it with automaticity. I mean, if I don't do it, I don't think I can live that life. Like if I didn't go to the gym, if I didn't go through my routine of all of like the things I deem healthy, like I mean working's not necessarily healthy, but working out is healthy. Just everything, getting good sleep, everything, right? Going through the positive motions in life or the established lines, you know, in life, like the norms in which we live. Like I'm like good at that. So maybe I'm like I feel like I'm living like a decent life, right? Maybe. But again, I know that I know how I feel and I know I think I understand where I understand how I position myself. And I understand again, there's not a cocky or conceited thing about that. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with believing in myself. But I don't say that like I'm not boastful about it. Anyway, that doesn't even matter. But I feel the need to explain that. But it's more about just believing in myself. For as much as I believe in myself, because I actually don't believe so much in myself. But again, that's why I said like pretty much what supplements what I don't have is my drive. And whatever the fuck that is, I couldn't describe. I'm trying to describe what drive means, but who the fuck can drive means to each his own, right? Like everyone's gonna have a different interpretation of that. You can't describe drive to someone. That doesn't make much sense, does it? It's your emotion, and it's just too ambiguous. Nebulous is the right word. I don't love the word, but it's enigmatic. How can you explain that? That's like saying, "Oh, hey, I went to this beautiful park. I went to the Grand Canyon." "Oh, really? You did? Yeah, it was amazing." It's like, "Oh, wow, really? Yeah." It's like, do you think the person that you told it to felt like somehow that they, "Wow, I saw the Grand Canyon"? I mean, some of them do. Like they do kind of. They're like, "Wow, you were in the mountains," you know? But how can you fucking explain that to somebody? How can you explain that to somebody? "Oh, I went to these beautiful mountains. You should have seen it." "Oh, really? Yeah, it was fucking amazing." "Yeah, you were there. You were there." "Yeah, I was there." Who's there now? Who's there? Was the one listening there or the one saying it there? Who's there now? Oh, what the fuck are we talking about? Who cares? It's the Shoy show. Who gives a shit? All right. We only have so much time on this planet, on this day, for whatever it's worth. And you know you got to do something with it. I guess. I don't know. Who cares? That was the opening monologue, I think. I mean, it only takes me 9 minutes. I love the monologues right in the beginning. It's just, you know, great. Fantastic. Who knows what we were talking about? But let's get back to the premise because I do remember what it is. And that is how are you acting? If I give you all of the power and influence in the world, how are you acting? How are you reacting? You see what I'm saying? How would you act? How would you react? What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't know how I would act if I had all the power in the world. That's crazy. If I had all the power in the world, the fuck? We like criticizing people that are in these positions, these politicians and shit. And you should. You should. But I mean, how would you act in that position? No one I fucking know would ever want to be a politician. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world. It sucks. I'm sure it sucks like hell. You want to believe that your politicians are some altruistic human beings, that they care about you. And even if they do something that like hurts you, you still want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because we owe it to them, no? Listen, very short time ago in my life, I spoke politics. I'm like, yo, fuck politics. Fuck politics. Fuck that whole thing. And today, honestly, I just don't care. I mean, I don't have the energy for it anymore. I love reading about it and shit, but I'm just like, oh, fuck politics. I never protested or anything like that, right? But when you really start realizing the significance of it in the world, and that struck for me about like 5 years ago. Hmm. Now, like, it's a totally different dimension. Your life has transcended itself, and I would say that it's to your detriment that you're thinking about politics because that shit drives people crazy. It distracts all of us. That shit sucks. Very. I mean, I would say it's dystopia just having to worry about your government. Sucks. Because nobody wants to worry about their government, right? You just want to go skiing or fucking go to a restaurant. You know, you want to just do something with it. Go to the beach. Nobody wants to worry about shit. So the people that do get into the rat race of politics, I mean, what the fuck you think they're gonna do? How do you think they're gonna act? How are they supposed to act? With some type of dignity and respect? Okay. I want to see the person that says that. I want to see the person that actually says that. Like, hey, when you have enough dignity and respect, come talk to me about being the mayor, or come talk to me about being the governor. But that's not how it works. I think, who cares? So all the power in the world, I mean, you just gotta hope that your politician is just a little less corrupt, you know? That's it. You just gotta hope. Because everyone's corrupt. But you gotta hope that, man, I hope he's not that corrupt. You know, when I was younger, I'm not even embarrassed to say it. I am kind of, but I'll say it anyway, because I thought that shit was hilarious when I was a kid. I was like, yo, what? I was like, motherfucker. I was like, I should become the fucking mayor of New York. No, no, no. Actually, I wanted to become a senator, but on some altruistic shit. I was like, yo, I said that shit when I was mad young. When I was like, I don't know, like 10 years old or some shit. But then I used to say this. This joke was fucking hilarious. This is what I told my boys growing up. I'd be like, yo, what? I'd be like, yo, what? What? I'd be like, yo, I'll go become a cop. I was like, yo, if I was a cop, bro, I fucking beat everybody that steal everybody's shit. I don't give a shit. If I was a New York City cop, what? I'd be the worst. Pull your ass over. You got 2 pounds of weed. You got 2 pounds of cocaine. You got a fucking gun in the back. I'm gonna be like, yo, listen, motherfucker. This is my shit right now. Okay? These drugs, they're mine. $10,000 cash? Why not? It's my dream. $50,000 cash. I'm like, listen, motherfucker, with my gun, my badge. Oh shit. With my gun and my badge. Oh shit, man. Oh shit. Let's go. Look at what I'm Googling over here. Fuck out of here. Gun badge cop arrest. Your fucking picture of somebody arresting somebody. What the oh no, gun. It's not a gun badge. Cop arrest. That's what we need. Right there. See TikTok? You guys I gotta get TikTok on StreamYard because you guys can't see shit right now. Now I gotta hold the fucking phone. This is stupid. Boo-hoo, you little crybaby. Streaming's annoying. That's me. And everybody around the world, they're like, at least you have heat, motherfucker. That's why I try not to take things for granted. Fuck that. Thank God for everything I have. We haven't answered this question though. All the power in the world, how would you act? How would you act? How are you supposed to act? How do you think you would act? How do you think you would act? You don't fucking know. So for the people that we leave in reserve, now some people say ideologically, politically, whatever the hell you want to say, you don't need a government. You don't need a president. But, I mean, I don't know how that could work with humans. I really don't. But they say that, whoever they is. And you guys have heard this before. It's not like somehow we would self-govern. But we are self-governing right now. This is our system of self-government. It's what we call a democracy. Well, I mean, it's a democracy where we vote on the people that we like, whatever the hell that means. We don't know how numbers are counted. I'm not talking about like fictitious balloting or anything. I'm talking about like, we don't know how we don't know how shit works. They tell us to go cast a fucking ballot. We cast a fucking ballot and then we go and live our lives. Nobody gives a fuck about that shit. Nobody cares, as you shouldn't. You shouldn't care. Why are you gonna care? You gotta go live your life, right? You gotta go eat. You gotta go dance. You gotta go do whatever the fuck. You're not supposed to worry about your government, which brings us right back to square one. And you're like, yo, Shoy, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm like, all the power in the world, how would you act? That's the question. That's why I put it on the screen so I wouldn't forget. And you know what? I think that if I had all the power in the world, I think I would definitely try to do good with it. I'm not gonna fucking hurt people. But no matter what, there's gonna be criticism either way. I'm not saying we should thank politicians, but I kind of am saying it. Because politicians are all fucking corrupt. That's just the way it goes. And there's no problem with that. It's just the way it goes. And I think we accept it either way. They deserve a bit of thanks. I think that's fair. I don't even like saying that, but you know, whatever. Give people some respect, some love. You just think about that question. All the power in the world, how would you act? You think about that when we criticize our politicians. I believe everyone's corrupt. It's just what level of corrupt. Maybe I'm a cynic. Call me whatever the fuck you want. I mean, if you don't believe that politicians are corrupt, all right. That's another thing too. That's a possibility as well. Are we gonna take down that banner? Bring it on. News with Shoy. We are doing the news. So did you guys hear that Trump is threatening Russia with large scale sanctions right now? And that's because, well, he's only threatening. That's number one. But what happened earlier today, Trump threatened further economic and trade sanctions after a massive Russian drone attack on the Ukrainian port of Odessa. I mean, it triggered fires, damaged infrastructure. You know, if you don't follow Zelensky on X, oh man, he tweets about everything. He'll tweet pictures, videos, and he writes really long tweets for whatever a tweet is. What do they even call it now? Is this still a tweet if you're on X? I don't even know. Well, you gotta Google it. Is this still a tweet on X? That's what we're. No, posts on X are no longer called tweets. They are called posts. What if you call it a tweet? The word tweet was removed from the platform and replaced with post. The word retweet was replaced with repost. The blue tweet button was replaced with the post button. Bam! What? That's how X killed the tweet. Oh yeah, yes. That's how Elon Musk killed the tweet. Ooh. Oh yeah. Yes. But what if we call it a tweet? Yeah, let's go. Whip it. What if we call it a tweet? Let's go. What you gonna do if we call it a tweet? Yeah, let's go. Ah, man. When it comes together like that, oh, my cheekbones hurt right now. What you gonna do if we call it a tweet? X killed the tweet. Killing the tweet. What's he gonna do? I mean, what you gonna do if we call it a tweet? I'm still calling that shit a tweet. Maybe I'll be banned in social circles. Be like, oh, you can't chill with him. He still calls posts on X tweets. Yeah, you can't chill with him. Nah, you can't chill with him, bro. You can't chill with him. It's like, bro, he still calls posts tweets. on X. Nah, bro. Nah. You can't chill with him, bro. You can't chill with him. What am I supposed to do? You don't want to chill with me? Don't chill with me. But it's still getting called a tweet. I'm not gonna change. I'm not gonna change. Okay? Why am I not gonna change? Who cares? Who cares? Why not? Who cares? Okay, you want to care? Care. You don't want to care about tweets? Don't care about tweets. You want to care about tweets? Care about the tweets. It's all good. It's fine. You see everybody's dancing. Everybody's chilling. Go ahead. Oh man, this is just perfect. Ay, ay. That's just amazing. Killing the tweets. Fucking beautiful. Okay, so back with sanctions on Russia. I think it's interesting that Trump, I mean, it is definitely interesting that Trump is threatening sanctions on Russia. It's smart because you know what? Whatever just happened, I'm happy that it got to him. He pays attention to all the news, and hopefully, he's really seeing that, like the damage that's being done. They should just stop, man. They should just stop fighting each other. Stop fighting each other. Don't join NATO. Just do the minerals deal because that'll have U.S. personnel most likely or U.S. contractors in Ukraine. So there'll be an economic connection between the two countries. Do you guys keep seeing all of the meetings that Zelensky is going to? Oh man, when he goes and meets with European leaders, oh shit, they like are hugging him, they're like kissing him, they oof, and they were drawing the contrast with him in in the U.S. with Trump. But again, I don't think Trump treated him unfairly or wrong. That's how Trump does business, and like that's how he talks, and he's respectful. Trump's respectful. He's unorthodox, if that's what you want to call it, but he's certainly effective. I believe he's as diplomatic as they come. He adds his own spice to it, and that's cool. You got to respect that. I think everybody can. I certainly do. The fact that he says that he's imposing those sanctions like publicly, that means something. I think if you believe this whole game is true, then yeah, I would say you think it's a strong possibility that Trump is trying to do right. He's trying to do something good here, right? He's trying to end the war between two civilized nations, and Like we say it's a terrible situation. I feel like I'm stating the obvious, but nothing's obvious. But it's like you realize that Russia and Ukraine are fighting. So you read a headline. I mean, I know that we forget this, we remember this, we forget this. But that's what I'm honing in on. You see a headline like Russia attacked, this is the latest one. So Russia attacked Ukraine's energy supplies, and the US cut access to Ukraine to satellite images. Wow, that's a big step. So you see this warfare right here, right? I think this is one of the pictures that Zelensky posted on X. And what do you say? What do you say when you see that? You know what just happened there? Their energy infrastructure was just destroyed in one of their largest cities, Odessa. It was an overnight barrage. It wounded at least 10 people. And it knocked out power for I don't know how many citizens, but it's a major city. And the fact that Trump is retaliating with tariffs, like not tariffs, with sanctions, good. I don't know why Russia would keep attacking Ukraine right now. I don't understand that. Like, why would they keep attacking them? When the fuck is enough enough? It's the same thing with Gaza, right? By the way, if you didn't hear what China said on the matter, if you didn't hear what China said about Palestine, it's not about Gaza, it's about Palestine. Check this out.
沙是巴勒斯坦人的袈裟，
Gaza belongs
是巴勒斯坦领土不可分割的一部分，不是政治交易的筹码，更不能成为弱肉强食的对象。袈裟已经饱受战火摧残，满目疮痍，哀鸿遍野。国际社会，特别是大国，应携手为加沙人道援助和重建雪中送炭，而不是雪上加霜。中方坚定支持巴勒斯坦人民的民族合法权利，始终认为8人制8是加沙战后治理必须坚持的重要原则，反对针对加沙民众的强制迁移。中方愿与国际社会一道努力，以两国方案为根本出路。
I mean, I love playing full videos. We'll get to the rest of that, but man, you see what he just said? China stands ready to work with the rest of the world for the realization of a two-state solution. What? China was like, bam, I did not even know. Let me tell you something. Again, if I believe every politician is corrupt, which I do, then I'm going to believe that each country is out there in their own best interest. That makes sense, right? You care about your own best interest. Makes sense? It's instinctive. So every time I think about a country doing something, again, call me a skeptic, call me a cynic. Yo, call me a skeptic, call me a cynic, bro. Yo, call me a skeptic, call me call me a call me a call me a scat. Call me a sin. Call me a cynic. Call me a psychopath. Call me a cynic. Call me a skept. But yeah, the way I believe in like countries and shit, like the fact that China has any interest whatsoever in Palestine, to me means that China's trying to gain something. It's just how shit works. That's not shocking at all, right? More coffee, why not? I don't know what compelled China to make this statement recently. This came out a few weeks ago. The Chinese believe that the Palestinians governing Palestine is an important principle. What? What a fucking statement. Damn. And then we got to show you the other quote. If you guys didn't hear about it, I think this made international headlines. Let's segue. Well, actually, China's statement on war. Ay, ay, ay. Come on with this shit. China says it is ready for any type of war with the US. And this is it right here. If war is what the US wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight to the end. What the fuck? You start thinking like, yo, what the fuck is going on in China? I mean, that's a statement. That's a bold statement. Those are fighting words right there. Oof. China's its own world, man. We don't know shit about China. I got a good friend that lived in China for 5 years. And he told me it's a whole nother world. Of course it is. Every nation is really. I mean, you don't know what the hell any country's going through. You don't even know what's going on in your country, right? I heard like the only crime you can commit over there is like a bar fight, because of the intrusiveness of surveillance. Cameras everywhere, being measured all the time, the police. I mean, what do we know about China? Everything, it's so mythical. because of course China exists and there's real people there. There's a fucking billion, over a billion people there. But what you know about China, you don't know shit. You don't know shit about China. I think every American should go to China. And I think every Chinese person should come to America too. They're just two, they're the biggest, the biggest superpowers, I guess. It's smart to be friends with your enemies for sure. But also on a level of just, we shouldn't be fighting. The two nations should be able to coexist. Again, we don't know shit about China. The first thing that we have to do is be compassionate. We are so quick to judge. And it's crazy. It's like I am, right? We are so quick to judge. I sense that amongst like our species. Like we will just shit on an entire nation and be like, yo, fuck China, something like that. And we know nothing about the nation. It's definitely not a good way to look at life. It's not a good way to approach it either. But you know what? Approach it the way you want to. You know why? It's your life. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. You want to say China's the worst? Go ahead. Do whatever you want to do. Okay? All I know is China just threatened us. So what are we going to do? We're going to put on our USA shirts. We're going to start showing pride. Yeah. USA. We're just going to be walking in the street, every time you see a human being, you're going to be like, USA, USA. The fuck are you supposed to do? What you supposed to do? They threatened us. What are we supposed to do? Be more prideful? Be more nationalist? Who cares? No, I still gotta go take a shit. I'm still gonna go out there, take a walk. I'm still gonna go to the supermarket. What you want me to do? Fucking wear a flag dress? You know what I mean? Wear a flag dress? Run around here in a flag dress? Nice satin flag dress? Metallic? What the fuck is going on here? What's going on? You'd be like, what the fuck is going on here? Right? Fucking Google. Google sucks. Google images suck. Let's go, y'all. Metallic satin dress, silver? You want me wearing one of these shits? American flag? Let's find it, ladies. Let's find it. You want me to fucking wear this shit? Oh my god. Oh my god. You want me to wear this shit? Get the fuck out of here. Yo. You want me to fucking put this shit on and you want me to run around here? You'd be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? You want me to put on a stupid ass, dumbass flag, metallic dress for what? Why would you tell me to do that? What do you think I am? What do you think I'm doing with my life? You think I'm gonna fucking run around here in that shit? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But if that's what you want, it's your life. You do what you want. You want to hate China? Go ahead, hate China. I don't care. I gotta go fucking do whatever I gotta do in my life. That's all I'm saying. Oh man. Oh, that was golden. That's a fucking motherfucking dress. Look at this shit. That's what you want? You want to fucking wear this dumbass shit? Why? I will be like, there's something wrong with you. It's Friday. Let's go. Yeah, every time I think about China, it fucking scares me. It worries me. That's not a good thing, man. We got to be closer. We got to be we're a human species together. Like, the fuck? I wish we were closer with the Chinese and everybody in the world. I definitely wish there was less hate. I wish there was more love. I wish there was more like physical love, you know? I wish we moved away from technology. Oh, absolutely. 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 Without a doubt. I wish we, man, gotta live in the world, you know? I could say so many things right now. Ah, man. Yeah. I know I went off on a tangent. Let's get back to the video.
愿与国际社会一道努力，以两国方案为根本出路，推动巴勒斯坦问题早日得到公正的政治解决，即建立以1967年边界为基础，以东耶路撒冷为首都，享有完全主权的独立的巴勒斯坦国。关于巴拿马运河的问题，中方多次阐述了我们的立场。中方一贯尊重巴拿马对运河的主权，承认运河作为永久中立国际水道的地位。中方尊重巴拿马政府对运河的管理运营，从不插手运河事务。
I want to buy your house. I can.
Wow. Man, what a statement. What a statement. If you saw, you know, he said we stand like he said we believe in Palestinian sovereignty. Man, the Chinese know how to make a fucking statement. We know. I mean, Trump is good in that department. He only makes statements all day. This guy is. So Trudeau was speaking directly to Trump during a speech about the tariffs, and I think Trudeau's last meeting was today as Prime Minister.
And Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau speaking right now after the U.S. slapped Canada with 25% tariffs. Let's listen.
So today, the United States launched a trade war against Canada, their closest partner and ally, their closest friend. At the same time, they're talking about working positively with Russia, appeasing Vladimir Putin, a lying, murderous dictator. Make that make sense. Canadians are reasonable and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight. Not when our country and the well-being of everyone in it is at stake. At the moment, the US tariffs came into effect in the early hours of this morning, and so did the Canadian response. Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods, starting with tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods immediately, and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time. Should these tariffs not cease, we are in active and ongoing discussions with provinces and territories to pursue several non-tariff measures which will demonstrate that there are no winners in a trade war. Now, just like I did a month ago, I want to speak first directly to the American people. We don't want this. We want to work with you as a friend and ally. And we don't want to see you hurt either. But your government has chosen to do this.
Today, at America's beverage companies.
What do you guys think? Ay, ay, ay. And they call Trudeau, they call him, like Trump tries to call him like a wussy, like a chicken. Nah, man. Trudeau, this guy got a set of balls, man. This guy. And here's the thing about Trump, right? I love the guy. Like, I think he's just great what he does, you know. And I also loved Biden, and I also loved Obama. Like, I love our presidents, and I love Trump for who he is. To me, it's just the next James Bond. You know, you could fuck with him or not fuck with him, but to me, the U.S. presidency is the evolution of James Bond. You know, it's like. Like the entire series, right? Like all of the James Bonds, they all gave you something different. And you might not fuck with one of the James Bond. Like, I like Pierce Brosnan, but like actually I think every single other James Bond criticized Daniel Craig, and I love Daniel Craig. He's my favorite James Bond. He's the man. He is the man. He is absolutely the man. You know, like just straight up, doesn't fuck around. But this James, you know, the evolution of James Bond is pretty much like, who's our James Bond in our government? And our president is our James Bond, right? It's the guy, you know, the guy. So, and that's not a dig at Trump. I respect him for who he is and what he is and how he maneuvers and how he conducts himself. So I fuck with him.
As of this morning, markets are down, and inflation is set to rise dramatically all across your country. Your government has chosen to put American jobs at risk, at the thousands of workplaces that succeed because of materials from Canada or because of consumers in Canada, or both. They've chosen to raise costs for American consumers on everyday essential items like groceries and gas, on major purchases like cars and homes, and everything in between. They've chosen to harm American national security, impeding access to the abundant critical minerals, energy, building materials, and fertilizers that we have and that the United States needs to grow and prosper. They've chosen to launch a trade war that will, first and foremost, harm American.
Here's the thing about the trade war, right? At what price are we establishing equilibrium? Because there have always been tariffs, there have always been taxes. So at what level are you saying like the taxes are even? There's always going to be tariffs and taxes, and it's always going to cost a certain amount to get a good over the border. We understand this, to trade with one another. At what level is it correct? Right? There's taxes within the country, within the state, within the city. There's taxes for the other country. There's freight, traveling on the boat, drayage, trucking. So at what point are we saying that we're at equilibrium for costs? There's costs associated on both sides. The tariff ends up making one side pay an additional amount on whatever they're paying. And whatever the other country is paying, if they get hit with tariffs, it would be reciprocal. However, where's equilibrium? That's as arbitrary a number as they come. What's the right amount that we're supposed to be paying to do trade with people? That number is arbitrary. That number is like whatever. Like, your guess is as good as mine. Because again, there's costs associated on both sides. And yes, you could be like, all right, well, if there's no tariffs and we're not going to charge you any additional tax, whatever, you still have to look at the cost of transport. And with that usually falls taxes. All that stuff counts. Why do we have any of that? You could say, why? I mean, why do we have taxes? Why do we have insurance? A lot of big questions there. But I think it was a bold move. Here's what I was saying. I think Trump, he's loud and boisterous and he's like, But I think if you think other people are not going to fight back, people are going to fight back. What Trump did was lead the way. So he's definitely going to get respect as the grandmaster, right? Plus he's also the United States president. So it's inherently so much power, right? But Trump is going to face his exact persona many times over in the world. People are going to be loud and boisterous just like he is. If anything, he enables it. He normalizes it. Because if someone fights you on something, right? What's up, bro? If someone fights you, I guess they fight you. I don't know. What the hell are we talking about? We're talking about the trade war, okay? And if I was the fucking Canadian Prime Minister, I would have said the same shit. I would have been like, yo, you're going to put tariffs on us? It's going to hurt us economically. It's going to be disastrous for you or for us. Fuck that. You got to be just like that. Trump's not the first one to ever be like this. It's strategic. It's effective. It's glorious in its own right, for what it is. His style of not ninja, but his style of the mystique of how he plays the game. I mean, come on. If you don't believe in the Illuminati, you don't believe in crazy conspiracies, but you do believe our systems are all legitimate at least, then to see what Trump did was extremely fascinating. Because in a world you realize when you get older, how fickle we are as a human species. People like you or don't like you like this. Bang. Like that. They like you or they don't like you like that. This is a turbulent world, is it not? This is a very fickle world. And people don't like bullies. I'll tell you right now. people don't like bullies. So it's good that Justin Trudeau fought back. And I expect everyone else to fight back. I mean, we just went over what China said. We are ready for any type of war. What the fuck? Yo, everybody calm the fuck down, bro. You know, I argued with one of my friends. I'm like, bro, protests are dead. Protesting is done. It's finished. There is no more protesting. I don't know what world you're living in if you think protesting is okay right now. Protesting has been thwarted in every which way. I mean, they're talking about I think President Trump just denied like $400 million that was supposed to go to Columbia University for funding, and they're withholding the money because of anti-Semitic protests at the university. If you guys didn't see this, Trump administration cancels $400 million in grants and contracts with Columbia University. Because of what the government describes as the Ivy League schools' failure to squelch anti-Semitism on campus. I mean, protesting is dead, and I thought it was dead for a very, very, very long time. How do you get your voice out, right? Because that's the point here. How do you get your voice out today? You cannot fucking protest. You protest in the world right now, I don't give a shit where you are. They're gonna break that shit up. It's okay now to do that. To have the police break up protests. Nobody protests like that anymore. I'm sure if they did numbers, you would see that protesting numbers have gone down. There's probably been fewer protests, and there haven't been a ton of people coming out and protest. Maybe we get big protests for Democrats 4 years from now. It's possible. For sure. But again, people are not standing for protests. You can still protest in New York, but they're smaller. I think if World War III broke out, like if the United States was involved in another war, I think there would be protests. And we're always at war. So what is war, right? We are always at war. We're never not at war. We have military bases all over the world for a reason. I told my friend, I was like, yo, protesting is dead. You cannot protest, number one. Number two, I don't think enough people would come out and take the risk to protest. First of all, it's got to be something. And number three, it's got to be something they really believe in. Like, everybody doesn't give a shit about Palestine. You could walk up and down the street in New York and be like, yo, you care about Palestine? Be like, yeah, I kind of do, but you know, like, what the fuck have you done for it anyway? You haven't done shit. You just read the headlines. Yo, you care about Palestine? Even if somebody says yes, most people are going to be like, no, I'm going to go eat. When I care about Palestine, I got to go eat something. Like over there, like free Palestine. Hey, I got to go fucking eat something. Send me the video. Yo, send me a video of you protest. my boy be like, yo, you want to come to a protest? I was like, nah, but send me pictures. Send me a video. Bro, it's like fucking 18 degrees outside, bro. Like, what you protesting for? Fuck that shit. So you can't protest. what the fuck you gonna protest for? And most people wouldn't take the risk. Protesting is dead. Sorry, technical difficulties. Technical? I'm not a machine. I'm a human. But I do think if we went to World War III, I think enough people would get out of their couches and be like, nah, fuck this shit. I think enough people would. Fuck if they're blocking protests, whatever. Fuck that. And if that's important to you, I think it's important to everybody. It's certainly of some substance, not being at war. I mean, again, we're always at war. Always. We're always flying our planes around, flying our fucking submarines around. We are always at war. But what would compel you to come out of your house and go protest for all of those reasons? Like, definitely, I think war. Like real war. Sometimes I think, I'm like, sometimes I use my brain. Sometimes I think I'm like, yo, what if somebody attacked New York City? Well, again, right? Because 9/11. Yeah. Yeah. So again, yeah. It's not that I forgot about 9/11. Like, I be thinking like, sometimes I'm like a nuclear bomb or something. I'm like, holy shit. Like, could you imagine? And it's not that far-fetched an idea, right? Like, I mean, China, Russia, anyone can attack us at any time. It's totally not only legitimate, but plausible. Oh, not legitimate. No, not legitimate. I mean, like, I mean legitimate in the framework of policy. I mean, Russia just attacked Ukraine, right? If they wrote in their policy, we're attacking Ukraine. It happens every day. And we do it every day too, right? The United States is constantly attacking nations in what we call defense. Maybe it is, I'm sure a lot of it is defense. What do I know? I don't know anything about it. I'm just pointing things out. I think I will protest. If there was a war, like if they attack New York City and like something, I think, you know what would really be a defining moment in the United States? Check this out. If the United States was suffering so severely from the war that we were in, if they had to call a draft in the United States, that would be one of the most defining moments. I mean, I don't even know I wouldn't even know how to describe that if there was a draft in the US. Maybe people will take it normally and just keep it moving like we do for everything. The United States has not had a draft since 1973. So 50 years. So I guess the first level of a draft would be all male U.S. citizens and male immigrants between the ages of 18 and 25 would be required to register. But then it would end up, if it got really bad, then if it got so bad, they would be recruiting 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds if they could fight, whoever, if they could shoot a gun, right? That's essentially what the American Revolution was, right? It was a bunch of farmers. It was like dads and uncles, just like it is today. It was the people of, it was like the men, all the men. And then just like it is today, same thing. But to be drafted for that, or even like join a militia because you have to, that's fucking wild, man. We don't fight wars in our short life of a country. We don't fight wars in the United States. I think yeah, 200, I was going to say 250 years old, 248 years old, the United States. So 1776, right? The Declaration of Independence. They had some balls, man. They had some balls. They had some balls. For all of them to sit in a fucking room. Look at this shit. This is fucking awesome. Wow. The Declaration of Independence. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. 1776. Wow. Wow, I had no idea it was on the back of the $2 bill. That's so dope. They actually make $2 bills still. Sometimes people give me $2 bills. And I'm like, all right, cool, thanks. But I'm gonna spend it because money. Yeah, man. You fuck with other countries, they're gonna fuck with you, period. And if you ask for a trade war, they're gonna give you a trade war. And if you attack, people will fight back. I think this is a huge wake-up call. I think the fact that Trump has delayed the tariffs multiple times now, I think he's learning everybody. You know, he's learning like, how are they going to react? And some people are going to bite back. So they'll figure something out, get a political win for him to show face, and they'll figure something out. And he's doing that with everyone. Man, we hit some topics tonight. A lot. So if you didn't hear about it earlier today, unemployment rose from 4.0% to 4.1%. Most people will look at that and just say that's not a big deal, but you know, everybody's wondering where the economy's headed. The market was down. Yeah, the S&P 500 was up 0.5% today, but on the week, it's not even important that I pull this up, but yeah, they were down on the week, I believe, like 2%. They dropped to like 56.78 under the 200-day moving average, and dropped from 6,000 on March 3rd. So a lot of people lost a lot of money. The market's down, way down right now. A lot of people selling. We got a lot of sellers right now. A lot of panic, a lot of margin trading like I do. And the market is down. And this calm before the storm, this is the story that they're talking about. Consumer spending is poor. Inflation is not even proven as sticky. Inflation is here. And inflation didn't really go down. There was disinflation, but we still have some really high prices. So now they're thinking high inflation, potentially. You have a whole swirl of events that are going to happen with Donald Trump's administration. A flurry of things, from the tariffs to getting rid of the workers, to trades, to trade deals, to war, to Doge, like how much spending we're cutting, we're introducing, we're retaining. All of those things. It's a confluence of factors that are going to come into play. And they're very strong. And now you see that the market's paying for it. We were already at all-time highs. So I knew about this. I spoke to someone today at the trading desk, and he said, he was like, yeah, man. He's like, I sat out the market all of 2024 because I was like, I knew that we were at like all-time highs, and I didn't want to lose my money. The market returned 25% last year in 2024 and 2023. Those are anomalies. It's usually 10% that you should expect, with drawdowns of anywhere from 30 to 30% plus minus every year, but you'll average 10%. And last year, I made more than 25%. And the S&P 500 returned 25%, but there was a lot of people sitting on the sidelines, sitting in cash, just taking 5% with cash. And that makes a lot of sense. We were going to pull back, whatever you want to call it. You could blame it on all of the things that are happening politically. We had to pull back. So the rationale behind why we're pulling back, I don't even care about that. The market fell. And why did the market fall? The market fell because what goes up must come down. The answers are very simple. So when it comes down, you buy on the way down, you average out, and then it'll go back up, because directionally the market will go up. I estimate 50% of the time. I've heard 75% of the time. No, it doesn't. Not the stocks that I trade. Maybe a little more than 50%, but directionally, it's going up one way. The market, since the beginning of time, has only gone up. Now, some people might call it a Ponzi scheme, a casino, a gamble. But again, what goes up must come down. It's really that simple. So we got a good job payrolls report this morning. I think the print was 150,000 jobs. They were expecting 160,000 jobs. I mean, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. There's going to be some ramifications. A lot of people are going to get fired. There's going to be a lot of displacement, probably recalibration of our government. I know that the tariffs are confusing a lot of suppliers and vendors. I'm currently experiencing it at my job. They're thinking maybe 500,000 jobs get erased, eliminated with Doge. It's a lot of fucking jobs, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, I have a theory about all of the jobs that would potentially get replaced with Doge. I think one day, whether in this administration or the next, all of those jobs get replaced, and then some. The government being a part, like the government being an employer, is big business for the United States. It works for them. However they make the money, distribute it, it works for them. So they're going to keep on doing it. They might, I mean, you know, they're getting rid of these contracts that sound absurd, but I think eventually all these jobs come back. I don't think you want to, and I think a lot of people are going to get hurt because of this. I mean, they are. Anybody that loses their job, it's not necessarily a good thing, right? Can be, but it's not necessarily a good thing. He's going to start feeling a lot of pressure. Well, that's exactly why Trump announced tariffs. They went into effect. The day they went into effect, people fought back. And now Trump's like retreating. He delayed the tariffs a month. He's pressing. He's pressing. He's got balls. That's what that means. Wow. Doug Ramsey, Chief Investment Officer at Luthold Group, he said, "We doubt this economic expansion can survive a stock market correction of more than 12 to 15% before seeing like a bubble or before seeing like the market completely crash and wipe everybody out." That shit is definitely going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, without a doubt. In 17 years of experience, I know that much. We're going to come down to whatever we've seen with 2020, we're going to see worse. We'll see lighter and worse and lighter, but we will see worse again. History always repeats itself. We're going to see a dramatic stock market crash. I don't know if it's going to be this time, like right now, when it's been falling. We've already retraced 10%. So we're already in correction territory. And some people don't like saying that because it sounds a little ominous. People don't like hearing that, but it's better to remain a pessimist in the market. It certainly is, to err on the side of caution at all times. So if that means by default you have a pessimistic tint, that's good. You should always be skeptical about anything in the stock market because it's risk. So you should always consider risk first and foremost. This market will crash for sure. And I'm not saying anything like, oh, I know anything. I don't know a damn thing about the market, but I'm talking about like something big, heavy. You know what that means though? It's a zero-sum game. This many people have money. These people have money. These people have money. They do a trade. Somebody's going to win. That's it. We're putting our money up for grabs. That's what we're doing. It is a bubble. I mean, come on. There's got to be bigger powers that be, for sure. And I'll tell you right now, it's not even people like, I think, like some cabal, you know, like some James Bond syndicate. Nah, I'm not thinking about it that way. It's probably billionaires and like all the people that have all the money in the world. They're the ones that move markets. There are plenty of people in this world, including investment firms all over the world, that have billions and billions of dollars. They move markets. Any of your brokers are called market makers. They make the deal. They make the, technically, when you sell a stock, there's a buyer on the other side. They're buying that stock in so many. That's essentially what's happening with the exchange. They're buying the stock and holding it somewhat in escrow before they pass it to someone. But there's so many buyers and sellers and it's liquid. Therefore, you can exchange shares if there's prices. If there's illiquidity, then it really starts shopping. And that means that there's absolutely no sellers. But them being the intermediary, which is processing the transaction, they take a cut, which is the spread. Anyway, I don't even know why I explained all that. But these market makers, that's what your stockbroker is called. Market movers are fucking people that move the fucking market. There's a reason why that has a name. And those are fucking billionaires, man. The fuck? I didn't wake up yesterday. Had to learn that shit in my career. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, yo, you don't know. You're just like, yeah, somebody just made a fucking $100 billion. It's the way it is out there. Because it's a zero-sum game. Someone's taking, snatching, grabbing. Personally, I question sometimes. I'm like, how did I do successfully in the stock market? And I'm like, I still think it's a fucking Ponzi scheme. Not a Ponzi scheme, but like I still think it's a fucking. There's so much manipulation. There's so much, man. I've seen I haven't seen everything, but I've seen a lot. I've seen times where my trades were slipping. That's why they call it slippage. And you get in worse prices. I mean, there's so many things that happen when you trade. There's so much manipulation. So when the stock market goes down like that, what do you think happens to all that money? What happens to the money? It just disappears. Somebody just got rich as fuck. Somebody's going to the strip club. And they're going to be throwing your money. They're going to be throwing your money at the stripper. They're going to be like, and you're going to be there with face in your palms. And you're going to be like, fuck, I lost it all. I lost it all on Nike. Fuck. Yeah, that's what the stock market will do to you. Fucking rape you. Beat your ass and rape you. That's what the stock market will do to you. But you know what? That's how I like it. It's Friday night. I feel free. Fucking tired of work. Man, fucking annoying. Pain in my damn ass. My boss messaged me. Hey, Shoy, when are you gonna give me this report? I go, shut the fuck up. I'm just gonna show some of these comments. I don't even know what the hell. I just saw them. Why do you say that about Zelensky? I think he's like, I think he's a good guy. And I don't think it's posturing either. I don't. I think I mean, I like to think that he's a good guy. I mean, the fuck? None of us know. Your opinion is as good as mine. I like to think he's a good guy. But yeah, this stock market is going to crash. I mean, and again, I'm not saying anything like prophetic here. I would never try to predict the future of the stock market. No one would. But we were waiting for this. We were at all-time highs. So when you're at all-time highs, you're always in a very precarious and risky position. So yeah, I expect it's going to happen. Again, everybody expects it too, I think. But you got to keep that at the forefront of your mind. If I had to put a price on it, like a timeline, I mean, we're at 10% right now. That's bear market is 20%. I mean, we're at 10%. We're in correction territory. So this is a big drop from all-time highs already. It could certainly happen right now. We've already checked one of the boxes. If inflation starts going up and unemployment goes up, that's it. You have a recession, whatever we deem a recession. But if the stock market also drops 20%, recession. If you see unemployment at 4.5% and you see inflation start coming in over 3% every week, every month, I think that would normalize. If you started teetering between 3 and 4% on inflation, I think we would go into an absolute depression or recession. We would definitely be in a recession. Not a depression, but we would be in a recession for sure. And everyone would lose their money there. But I don't think that would be the worst stock market drop. I'm just saying that would happen. I think unemployment would have to hit 5%. The thing is, like, we've been through such rough times that we've had unemployment at 7%, 8%, 9%, 10%, 11%. And it's like, we've adapted, right? Did your world end? No, it didn't. So it's like, it's hard to say where we get, but I'm saying that enough people would start selling. Because the thing is, the world, it's not even Trump's presidency. The world is a volatile place. Something always happens, and something will always affect markets. Now, the market directionally has gone up since the beginning of time, but you do have those spikes, and those are the ones that you want to avoid. As a matter of fact, if you avoid one significant downturn in your life, just one recession, so the way I equate it is, if you had a financial advisor, like a wealth manager, and they helped you avoid one recession per lifetime, they pay for themselves. They more than pay for themselves. Because that one downturn of 30%, you're going to pay them anywhere from, I don't know, 0.25% to 2% of the portfolio management. So let's say you paid somebody 1% a year, which is like the going rate to manage your money. That means they're going to make essentially 30%, right? Over 30 years investing with you, if you had the client for a lifetime. If they help you avoid one economic downturn at 30%, meaning they pulled the money out before we had like a recession or something, and you stayed kind of leveled or even keeled while everybody was down here, and then you came in and bought up here, they would more than pay what they were worth. They just need to help you avoid one recession. I've thought about this long and hard because I was going to become a wealth manager. I am somewhat of a wealth manager as well, but not really. I'm just a trader, whatever the hell that means. But yeah, I definitely think the market's going to drop. But I think this really sucks. And this has been the news lately. Wall Street's big sell-off puts pressure on America's rich households. Wow. A federal judge in Washington said he'll likely order Elon Musk's Doge department to start preserving records of their activities because there are allegations that they're using encrypted messaging platforms, I guess like Telegram. I'm sure Elon Musk is being very unorthodox with the way he goes about things. And honestly, I would do the same shit. Like if I was running Doge, like let's say I will go, let's go be efficient, figure it out. I wouldn't want people to lose their jobs. I would figure out a way to be more productive. That's what I would recommend. But if they told me go fire everybody, I think he's doing this. It's the way he gets efficiency. I think he fired everybody at Twitter. He fired 75% of the staff and they retained 25%. And they kept running. He's a good businessman. But I wouldn't do that. I would never take that path up. I would always try to preserve human capital because I care about like people's livelihoods. Protect that at all costs. And you just, you figure out how to make more with the same. Sometimes you got to cut people. I understand that as well. I wouldn't stray away from that either, but it would literally be my last resort. And I wouldn't seek that as a first option. I would, figure it out. You tell people to be creative, to get creative, they'll get very creative. If you went to every department head in every fucking department at a micro level where they're only like within 7 people, micro level, it's like, look, I know what you're doing, even if it's non-revenue generating. I want you to figure out how you can start making money for this department. If they really can't make money for the department because they're clerical in some sort, they're like support staff. There's a lot of those staffs. I'm in IT. I'm one of those staffs. I create products that will make the company money, but technically I'm non-revenue generating. Like I'm not making the money for them. I'm not directly tied to it. But there's a system of charging back other departments, yada, yada. Anyway. The way I would manage if I took over as a CEO, and I'm, again, I don't boast or, brag about anything. But I know if I was a CEO, whip a fucking company into shape like this, financially, culturally, morally, in every fucking way, shape, and form, my way. And I wouldn't shy from it either. I could I don't care what company it was. Oh man. And you just got to empower people and be like, yo, figure it the fuck out. I want you to create value. And even if you can't become revenue generating, you make your job as efficient as possible. I would tell my employees with the idea of like, let's say AI was way more prevalent and like actually existed, because I don't even believe that shit really exists. I just think this is advanced automation. But let's say AI like really existed and we were really doing something with AI, I would tell people, I'd be like, each department head, I don't care if AI makes your work in a week equate to 5 minutes. Use AI. Like if you find a way to use AI to make yourself so productive that your work takes 5 minutes a week, you still get paid your 40 hours, whatever, you're good. But keep creating. That's how you fucking empower at all levels of the organization. Man, if I was a fucking CEO, I've thought about this many times. I mean, I run too many teams and shit. I'll run a company of 50,000 like this. You need 5 minutes with people. You don't need more than that. But you need to show up physically. A lot of shit. But I would love to run a company. Even if the company was burning to the ground, I could definitely fix up a company as well. Company's burning to the ground. Figure out all the holes. Where are we spending our money? I want hard data. Where are we spending our money? What's the makeup of the organization? And you do the right thing. You wouldn't fire people. I mean, anyway. Yeah, but I would do something like this. I'm not asking no fucking questions about nothing. You know? Actually, I wanted to get to a topic. I'm in a tech union. I work in IT. I'm in a tech union. So my job my job has unlimited sick time. And there was something that came out like in a memo that they were going to get rid of this. Now, I currently actually have someone on my team. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've been working with her for like a year. When I first got here, she was kind of here, but not really. She's an engineer. And she's always taken off from work. Like, she's like never there. Like she's never there. She's never there, right? So like, you can't ask somebody, if somebody says you're sick for however many sick days you have, like I never take a sick day, or I never take even my vacation days because I'm stupid. But if you get sick, nobody can be like, what do you have? Give me a doctor's note. I mean, they can, but like, well, some rules, like organizations, just there's rules out there, like and HIPAA laws also say that you can't, you actually can't ask anybody why they're sick or the details of their sickness. But then you have the amount of sick days, and then you also have organizations that will ask for a doctor's note. So my job was gonna eliminate unlimited sick time, and a lot of people started complaining about it, like really, like just complaining, being assholes about it, not being assholes, I'm sorry, but they just voiced their opinions. They weren't being assholes at all. I don't even know why I said that. But there are definitely people abusing it. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the way I handle fucking business in my life, I'm no, tough guy or anything like that. But I wouldn't let somebody do that. And if I was running a company like that, I will go to that person and be like, yo, you gotta fucking leave. I'm not saying that you can do that. Like, they don't want to get legal involved, of course. And actually, I was told that. I'm not mad at the person either, but clearly, she is abusing this shit. I think out of the year that I've been working with her, she's been there less than 30 calendar days. And I defended her. I wrote her like a ringing endorsement trying to boost her morale. Some people weren't happy with me because I wrote that. I was just trying to give her public praise, be like, she was a great engineer. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like, I was talking to my manager about it. And I was like, yeah, anybody that abuses that shit, like, it's not even fair. You're making other people work more, in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not a big deal, like in the grand scheme of life. But morally, you look at something like that, she's burdening the rest of the team because they have to pick up her slack. She's supposed to be a full-time resource, Yeah, to me, it's like, yo, you could fire that person. I wouldn't do it, but I would give her a chance, and I would say it in a nice way. Like, at some point, I would have told her long ago. I'd be like, yo, you're not showing up. After like maybe 3 months, if you didn't show up for 3 months, I'd be like, yo, you're not gonna come back? No? All right, you gotta leave. You gotta quit. And like, nah, pay me unemployment. What kind of fucking shit is that? Like, that doesn't even make sense. You as a business owner, you shouldn't run into a fucking impediment or obstacle like that. That's a fucking stupid ass rule. That person should be terminated and does not deserve unemployment or anything otherwise. And I know that might sound a little audacious for me to say, but if there has to be a decision on this, absolutely not. I would not penalize people for shit like that. As a landlord tenant, I'm a landlord. If somebody didn't pay their rent after, I would say maybe after 6 months. And honestly, 3 months. 3 months, not 6 months. That's stupid. After 3 months, you should be able to throw them the fuck out. I'm like, yo, you gotta go. And I'm talking about like calling the police and the police would just take them out. That's how it fucking should be. It should not be no fucking. There's people that sit in court for fucking years and they lose rent and they have fucking anxiety for years. That shit is mentally scarring. I've already been through it. Get the fuck out of here. If somebody's gonna be a deadbeat to you, the thing is, we have this thing, especially I think in New York, like, or like landlord tenant or whatever. But most people that are fucking real, whether you have a house or not, or whatever, you're renting or not, fuck that, man. To screw another human being like that, that shit is mad stupid. And again, I've been through it a couple of times now. A few times. People that do that shit, this just happens to be about rent. But people that screw other people, that hurt other people, it's like, what the fuck? It's the same shit. After 3 months, that's all I will give you before I'm like, yo, motherfucker, you gotta leave, bro. Get the fuck out. And it's the same shit with unlimited sick time. Yeah, we have unlimited sick time. That means you're not gonna fucking work. I'm gonna give you 3 months, and after that, that's it. You've got to leave. The system's fucked up. It's stupid. So you telling me that we not only have to get lawyers involved, but it's gonna take years to get rid of her? What the fuck is going on here? The system doesn't make sense in a lot of regards. And shit like this can be cleaned up like this. You could literally sign a law that says, yeah, that's not happening. After 3 months with unlimited sick time, if the person doesn't show up for 3 whole months, fire them. And you know the person could game the system too that way, because they could just show up once every 3 months. Then what? You know? It's fucked up. And to me, you should be able to fucking correct and rectify an issue like that if you're in business. If you're in fucking business and somebody does that to you, how are you going to survive? You're going to go out of business because this person is corrupt and stealing from you? Come on now. Fucking pain in the ass. Well, we got to read this because no matter what, this is important. The Trump administration has terminated 2 decades old, so 20-year-old independent food safety advisory committees to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The National Advisory Committee on the Microbiological Criteria for Foods, the fuck, and the National Advisory Committee on Meat and Poultry Inspection. Wow. The Director of Food Policy at Consumer Reports, Brian Ronholm, says that the termination of these 2 important advisory committees is very alarming and should serve as a warning to consumers that food safety will not be a priority at USDA in the foreseeable future. Wow. Well, it depends on how you look at Robert F. Kennedy, right? Because if RFK, if you believe he's going to make America healthy again, then you don't believe this, right? But if you believe that RFK is going to hurt us, I wonder what that means. That's it. We just read these statements and then we're like, all right, fine. What the fuck does that even mean? They're gonna eliminate 2 food safety advisory committees. Okay. We already have very bad, like, If you see how our chicken is processed, all of our meat, all of our agriculture right now, it's already really bad. So I don't know how bad I don't know how much worse it could get. Yeah.
This was the 8th attempt to run a test flight for Starship, and it didn't get far. We saw the booster rocket come right back down to the launch pad as planned shortly after liftoff, perfect in every way. But at the same time, Starship itself began tumbling out of control. SpaceX Mission Control said they'd lost control of that vehicle and lost contact with it. And then we began getting reports that debris was raining down over certain Caribbean islands off the coast of Florida. So far, no reports of any injuries, but we did see air traffic control at several airports put every plane in a holding position until the debris was down. In addition, this looks very much like what happened back in January when Starship also broke up over the Turks and Caicos. This is all about getting a rocket that someday can go to the moon.
Wow, that's fucking crazy. Wow. Do you want to be Elon Musk? He's got fucking shit blowing up in the air. He's got to fucking be with the president every single day. He's got a lot of people that hate him. He's got to worry about at least 5 companies, probably multiple private companies, being on the board of directors for multiple organizations, have a family. How many kids he has? 7 kids? How many baby mothers? Damn. You want to be Elon Musk? Sheesh. I don't want to be Elon Musk. Oh, wow. Something huge happened today. Wow. So Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio were all sitting in a room, and Musk started berating Rubio. He told him he fired nobody. So he was like ridiculing him for firing no one. And then he scoffed and said Rubio was merely good on TV. Rubio did push back while Trump watched. And later on in the discussion, wow. Wow. Trump broke with Musk and said while he still supported Musk's mission, he gave his secretaries of state something they wanted, or his secretaries something they wanted. From now on, Trump said the secretaries would be in charge. The Musk team would only advise. You know what that means? That's huge. That means shut the fuck up. And that you don't even have to listen to Musk. I mean, he's still going to advise for sure. But that means you wouldn't even have to listen to him. Because now he just said that the secretaries are who are in charge. And let me tell you something. if you put me in charge, I'll listen. I listen to everyone. Whoever has the best, whatever the consensus is on decision making, I execute. That's what you do. You put in good people around you. Trump has his ideas. Elon Musk have their ideas. But at the end of the day, I ain't got time to listen to everything. Like, I'm going to listen, keep listening, active listening all the time. But then I got to make decisions. So I'm going to tell you right now, if I'm one of these secretaries in Trump's cabinet, I ain't listening to shit that Elon says just because he said that. I'm like, yo, all right, Elon, what you got to say? All right, I got to keep it moving over here, bro. Get out the way. Doge or no Doge. I ain't got time for your shit. I'm trying to get paid, motherfucker. This is one of the bigger stories today. Musk boards the privatization train. So Elon Musk is saying that Amtrak, which is a perennial money loser, because Amtrak and the MTA, they serve the public. A lot of their routes are unprofitable. I don't know what percent of them are, but it's very hard to run those businesses. Trains and buses everywhere, but they do it because it's a public benefit. It's a public good. You need to do it. Somebody needs to do it. George W. Bush contemplated privatizing it. Ronald Reagan asked Congress to sell it. First term Trump proposed deep cuts to it, Amtrak. Wow, it must cost a lot of money. But they're thinking about potentially taking it private. And if you take a company private, they say that you can get more creative because there's less regulation. There's just different rules. So there's going to be different exploitation or a way about doing things. But you also don't have to answer to the public. You're not at the throat or mercy of your shareholders. There's a lot of reasons to go private. That's why a lot of companies go private. I've had a couple companies that I've worked for that went private while I was working for them. Nothing really changes, but it's a little less regulation. It's definitely less regulation. But if you privatize it, maybe you can make better decisions. You can cut a whole bunch of jobs. They probably have a lot of jobs there. I mean, who knows? Who the fuck knows? Maybe. Most government companies, I think, do. And I've worked for the government, so doesn't mean I know a thing or two. It just means, I don't know what it means. If you haven't heard, Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, she has been fighting back with Trump. And she said the same thing that Justin Trudeau said. She said, motherfucker, you gonna give us tariffs? Okay, just give us some time. She condemned it, and they're putting together a plan to tax us. It's the same thing. What you think you could fuck with the Mexicans, fuck with the Canadians, fuck with anybody? If you bully somebody, they're gonna wake up. They're gonna be like, "Yeah, you gotta fight fire with fire." And the worst thing that would happen is the consumers would get hurt. Again, I think it would normalize. Eventually, it would normalize. Eventually, but the consumer's gonna pay, both on the Canadian and the U.S. side. It's not worth it. But again, she's the president, and she's got some balls, some cojones. Bitcoin has been teetering. Let's take a look at Bitcoin really quick. I mean, I don't always like looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a little stupid. But if you just look at the last 6 months, I mean, we were at 50,000, in September. It rose to 100,000. It kind of stayed at this level for for like 4 months. And now we took this dip. We broke some serious support over here around like 90,000. And it dropped down to 80,000 over here. Who knows? I don't believe in Bitcoin. I never have. I've had a lot of Bitcoin, but never really made a lot of money on it. I always used it for black market purchases, so but I still don't understand it. It's up 58% last 6 months. Still wouldn't even touch it. And remember, the move that the administration just made is they're taking all of their seized Bitcoin and like seizures and shit that they do with the government, and they're putting it in the official Bitcoin reserve, whatever the fuck that means. But they are not going to be purchasing any new Bitcoin. I mean, strategic Bitcoin reserve. How does Bitcoin become the de facto currency? This is the only thing I want to really touch on. Everyone has to accept it. And I don't think people are going to accept Bitcoin. I want to go on a stretch. I mean, maybe they will, but I just don't know. I don't know about the name. I don't know about how it was created. I don't know. I don't know how, like, what we're going to end up with. Some people say like a US digital coin, because eventually everything will be digital. And by the way, once everything goes digital, we're lucky we live in a cash world, because we could, like, we could finagle our shit. You'd be like, I paid cash. But you could also hide some shit on using computers. We would just have to get more sophisticated. It's really not that easy though. You have your phone on, your laptop, all your information on. It's not easy to hide shit. If people know who the fuck you are. I just don't know that. I think all of our money will become virtual one day. Not in our lifetimes, but like virtual to the point where we completely give up cash. I don't think it's happening in our lifetimes, but eventually it will. And I don't think Bitcoin is going to be the currency of that future. I doubt it. I just doubt it. I think it's going to have to be some like US digital coin, Chinese digital coin. The fact that we all are in one nation as a people is fucking crazy to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. The fact that we don't all share the same currency, crazy. The fact that we fucking use the imperial versus metric system, come on now. And there is rationale for why we have an imperial system versus a metric system, but it's a stupid one. It was used in the United Kingdom, and since we got conquered by the British, right? The British came over. It was adopted by the United States. And we just kept it. Feet, inches, pounds, gallons. Like, what the fuck are we using that for? Like, what the fuck does that do for you? Why can't we just use kilograms? Am I asking for anything so special? But again, Bitcoin, that shit is not a real asset. Wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Yeah, that's how I've been feeling these days. These last 2 weeks, man. These last 2 weeks in the stock market have been fucking terrible. Wow, Stephen A. Smith can now talk politics. If you ever saw Stephen A. Smith, I liked him a long time ago. He's whatever though. He's great at what he does, but sometimes he's whatever. But he's good. Anyway, you know, I don't know if you heard, but he's going into political commentary. Somebody asked him recently, would he run for president? And he said, "Listen, man," he's like, "I don't know," and he's like, "I would just love the opportunity to debate the whole stage." I don't think he could win the presidency. And this is coming from someone that said, I thought Trump could win it back in 2016 when nobody was like, when they were like, "Oh, he's crazy and shit." I was like, yeah, this guy can definitely win. StubHub is going public. Wow, they're only going to raise $1 billion. I mean, that is a lot of money, but man, all these fucking intermediaries, it's all bullshit. We should all be able to transfer tickets to one another without a fucking stupid intermediary. All of the middlemen make all of the money. Their entire careers are on that. You buy stocks, you buy whatever. I mean, what do you really need? You need bare necessities, which is like food and like clothing and shit. Like everything else is superfluous. It's not needed. But you have to pay the transaction fee for everything to get to you. StubHub, Ticketmaster, all these fucking companies, Vivid Seats, SeatGeek, all this bullshit, fucking intermediaries. We talk about AI, improve this shit. Where I could just send the ticket to somebody. I don't have to fucking go through some stupid middleman for escrow. That can instantly be recorded on a blockchain. As a matter of fact, if these companies are not getting on blockchain, they're fucking crazy. You still need the ability for a user to enter it. So you're still going to have like a mobile app or a browser app or whatever. But the process or medium of exchange becomes commoditized and almost non-existent. It becomes extremely cheap for the layman, the average person, normal person. Fuck StubHub, motherfuckers. And they're only going to raise $1 billion. That's all they're worth. That shows you that the industry is huge, but it's so fragmented. There's like how many? I mean, this is such a stupid question to Google, because how the fuck are you gonna get this answer? How many ticket resellers are there? I mean, there's billions. If you think about anybody that could possibly fucking resell a ticket, it's difficult to pinpoint an exact number. Here goes stupid Google's fucking AI overview. It's difficult to name. The resale market is estimated to be a $5 billion industry in the US. Let's just say 5 billion. Fucking estimates are crazy. Oh my gosh, these estimates are crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So these ticket resellers, I mean, that's all they're doing. They're just fucking taking a premium, a cut from you. For what? For what? For giving me a ticket I'm buying from this guy? What the fuck? We should be able to connect our phones easily and just exchange the fucking ticket. Man, that's stupid. And by the way, you could do it today. You could post it on a platform that offers free services like Craigslist or something, and then just exchange it through a free medium. But I'm saying it should be way easier. It should be even done through the app in which you bought it from. And the app should be directly from the distributor, but it can't be that. It needs to be something centralized, because if to have all of either those integrations and customization across everybody's ability to send someone a ticket, you would need like one intermediary. So I guess there has to be one player, which means there's more than one player, because you can't have a monopoly on anything. See how everybody fucking makes money? Pain in the ass. Fuck StubHub, motherfucker. Just stealing our money and shit. That's what I got to say about StubHub. Wow. StubHub was gonna IPO last year, and it was valued at 16.5 billion. But I guess times are hard right now. And it opened around 1 billion. Great chart. Change in stock prices since inauguration day. They say that Elon Musk lost like $150 billion of his net worth. So this is the Magnificent Seven. So this is Tesla. This is a great chart. This is Tesla, Apple, Google, Meta. I always forget. Nvidia and Amazon. The Magnificent Seven stocks. In 2024, they returned like 30%. The S&P 500 dropped a little shorter. I'm pretty much all in the Magnificent Seven. And the other 493 companies in the S&P 500 are doing fairly well. Actually, nothing really happened to them. But everybody threw their money in Nvidia, Apple, Tesla. I bought all of these stocks except for Tesla. Fuck Tesla. And I'm not shitting on Elon or anything. That shit is not a fucking, it's a car company. That shit deserves to be $5 billion. That shit was just at $1 trillion. That shit deserves to be at $10 billion. It's a fucking car company. It's worth $1 trillion. You guys are crazy. Don't you dare touch Tesla. This is your public service announcement. Anyway, this shows that there's a broadening out or an expansion in stock prices. Sorry, in stock price in the other companies. So the Magnificent Seven have been the leaders for like the last 10 years. Their growth has led the market every single year, arguably more than that, especially Apple. Apple last 20 years. Google the last 20 years. The S&P 500, again, it took a dip, just not as steep, but the other 493 companies are finally performing somewhat. They've been stagnant the last few years, but they didn't drop as hard. And that's because everybody has leveraged positions in the Magnificent Seven, meaning that they're borrowing money and trading additional money. Like there's so much debt in the market as well. We certainly have a debt bubble. We will always have a debt bubble. As long as you have margin trading, you will always have a debt bubble. If you're not familiar with margin, that pretty much means that whatever broker you use is giving you $1 for every dollar that you have. So you double your money. So if you have $500,000, they'll let you trade with 1 million, but you got to pay interest on the other 500,000. But let's say you take up a trade that brings you down to 0. Well, then you would lose all your money and that's it. Bye-bye. So you could lose all your money. You can make a lot of money, you could lose all your money. And right now, everyone's highly leveraged and borrowing a lot of money and spending it on the Magnificent Seven. So a lot of people got killed already. I'm getting killed right now. However, the rest of the market is not taking as big a hit, but we're getting there. We already hit the 200-day moving average. That's a huge milestone for any stock in the stock market. And that means if we go further down from here, from this point on, everyone's going to be very wary. We could definitely go into a 20% bear market. We're already at 10%. This is where we're at right here, 10%, down to the 200-day moving average. And coincidentally, it rests at 10%. Big moment for the market here. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, whatever. I was told I have to say that. Have a great night, y'all. All love.